Welcome, everybody. John Zager, johnzager.com. How's everybody doing today? Good? Good. It's clouding up over here on the eastern slope. We're supposed to get weather moving in tomorrow, midday. It's supposed to be around for a day or two, I guess, through Monday night. Heavy rain or something like that. But otherwise, it's really nice out here. Wanted to continue on with our series on mindfulness meditation and some of the positive effects that it has. So I grabbed another few more. I said I would look at some more, and I thought I would just kind of drop those on you guys today. There's plenty more, but I'm just trying to hit the high points. So, mindfulness meditation, if you can do 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening before you go to bed, if you can do midday, that's even better yet. So, this little study talks about some of the same areas we talked about before, but they were just highlighting their findings and that kind of thing, with taking a group of people and training them to do mindfulness meditation, and then testing them before and testing them after the 8-week session. And this is what they came up with. For the brain, they basically said it increases gray matter, which we already talked about. And gray matter is the thing that makes all the different regions of the brain thicker and stronger, right? It increases the size of different regions of the brain. It also, they found out, and this one we didn't talk about before, but neuroplasticity, which I think you guys all know what neuroplasticity is. It's just the brain's ability to rebuild itself, reshape itself, take things that are injured and fix them. So the example that would be neuroplasticity is if you have a stroke, okay? It's all kind of common knowledge that you have, a couple months to reverse that naturally. And if you don't reverse it within a couple months, you're probably not going to get that part of your body back again. And example would be, a typical stroke. Maybe you lose the right side. Most people lose the right side movement in their body because it's a left side injury. And if you do the meditation right away, I understand you're going to be depressed, you're going to be angry, you're going to be hurt and all that kind of stuff. But if you can get back into the mindfulness meditation even longer than 15 minutes, there's a greater likelihood that neuroplasticity, which is the brain's own ability to re-heal itself, it can reverse all of that completely. And your stroke damage can be reversed. So that's a big one. That's really a big one for the brain and doing meditation. And it's now been proven. I mean, there's been enough studies done about people who have strokes or brain damage. Let's say you're in a car accident or some kind or whatever, and you damage your brain, you hit your noggin on the steering wheel, and you do damage to your brain. Well, the brain now has the ability to self-heal itself with little extra use of meditation through neuroplasticity. The heart, they go on with their study. They did a study of their own as well, and it reduces blood pressure, period. And the way that it does that is what we already know, is it increases huge amounts of nitric oxide, right? That's the thing that dilates all of your veins and arteries and the valves in your heart so that the blood can flow freely, okay? Here's one that we didn't talk about that they brought up, and I think this one is pretty important. You may not know about this one, although it's, I don't know, pretty well known in the neuroscience area. There's been so many different studies done on telomeres. Telomeres. Telomeres are, let me see, at the bottom of your chromosomes, right? You have 16 chromosomes. And at the bottom of each chromosome is a little shoestring, right? Imagine a little shoestring at the end of each chromosome. Those little shoestrings are called telomeres. By doing mindfulness meditation, for instance, do as much as you want or more than you want, because it lengthens the telomeres, the little shoestring endings at the bottom of your chromosomes. Well, guess what? The longer the telomeres, the longer you live. So a person that doesn't do meditation and just goes on normal and, blah, 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 gets older, their telomeres shorten at the end of the chromosomes and their life becomes shorter and shorter. Your life is determined by your telomeres. Meditation on a regular basis lengthens the telomeres and lengthens your life. Here's one, genes, right? Boy, this is a biggie. This is really a biggie. By doing meditation, and mindfulness meditation is what we're talking about, it affects your genes. You have hundreds of thousands of genes that are both positive and negative. By doing the meditation, it suppresses, they can identify over 1,000. I think it's like, I heard the exact number. I thought it was like 1,200 and something, but it's over 1,000, that's for sure. It suppresses over 1,000 genes, negative genes, not positive genes, right? The genes that produce inflammation, suppresses those, takes away the inflammation. We all know that disease is caused by the increase in inflammation. It increases, right, blood pressure in a healthy way. So in other words, if you have high blood pressure, it lowers your blood pressure. It lowers your blood pressure. There's genes that specifically cause your blood pressure to be up or down. This suppresses the negative genes that affect your blood pressure. Asthma. There's genes that cause you to have asthma. It's just that simple, right? It suppresses those genes that cause asthma. Okay? Aging. There's genes in your body that cause aging. We have chronological and biological aging. Yeah? Okay, so the biological part is affected by those genes, and doing meditation, it reduces the aging in people. Here's one that, I don't know, hopefully there's people out there. This one is very, very common, but diabetes. There's genes that cause those people to be diabetics, okay? Now, please understand when I'm talking about genes, this isn't genes you get from your family. You do not get genes from your family that cause the disease that they had. You upregulate these genes, okay? But anyway, so it suppresses the genes that create diabetes. Here's another one. This is a big one. Alzheimer's disease. There's genes that cause you to have Alzheimer's disease. It's just medically known, all right? And by doing meditation, they can scientifically prove that you reduce or eliminate those genes that cause Alzheimer's, as well as diabetes and asthma and stuff like that. Chronic pain. There's some people that have chronic pain. They used to call it What did they call that? Biofilmalgia. I can't remember. But at any rate, all the chronic pain genes are suppressed as well. Here's one more that they went into. It's your immune system, which is really a big one here with this pandemic and this crazy virus thing that's going around. It supports your immune cells, which ward off illness, viruses, infections, colds, flus, heart disease, and all of your common known diseases in the world. Okay? So your immune system has genes that are strong enough to overcome the virus that's going around in the world. The people that are catching that virus are comorbid. All that means is that they have genes in their body that have created other diseases or illnesses that are incapacitating for them, and therefore they become more likely to pick up, this virus. If you're not comorbid, you don't have a second, third, or fourth kind of disease or illness or sickness as a result of genes in your body, I'm not a doctor. By all means, I need to preface this, I'm not a doctor. I just do research, and if you believe that you're going to catch the virus, you will catch the virus, whether you're comorbid or not, okay? But at any rate, mindfulness meditation strengthens and makes healthier your immune system. And there's specific genes that do that. I didn't write those down, but anyway, they're out there. So just a few more areas that you might want to think about in regards to the importance and the benefits of meditation. I think it's serious enough that you need to spend some time today thinking about what we've talked about over the last week or so in regards to meditation and its positive effects. It's not a time to discount meditation. It's a time that if you've not been into that kind of thinking, right, it's time that you got there. It's the kind of thing that's going to keep you well, that's going to keep you healthy, that's going to keep you disease-free. It's going to do a lot of positive things for you. Now, please understand, meditation works as an adjunct, and meditation works for some people that have terminal diseases through their thoughts and their emotions. And if they can maintain that, that's what you call spontaneous remission. So there's conscious thoughts where you're spending time meditating on you being healthy, right? And we can go through those if you ever want to learn about meditation or learn how to do that. There's also a subconscious that goes on under the surface that can work against you. So here's the way it works. we have a person, let's say myself, who's just really into, what you think is what you get. It's hard to get a disease if you don't believe you can. If you don't believe in that. If you have thoughts and emotions that are contrary to what you think you should have because of your family background, you're going to get them if you believe that, if you believe the crosshairs are on your head. If you don't believe the crosshairs are on your forehead, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. Now, here's the caveat to that. The caveat is some people can argue and say, absolutely not. I'm not going to upregulate disease genes so that I get diabetes like my mother or something like that. Subconsciously, under the surface, you still might be having limiting beliefs that you're not hearing yourself think or feel. And you may be upregulating some of those genes without knowing it. So the person out there that is adamant about not getting disease, not upregulating disease, may at some point in their future, you may ask, well, why does that person have it? They talked and talked and talked about it. Well, maybe they didn't get rid of all of their limiting beliefs, and subconsciously it kept eating away on the bottom of the surface to where they couldn't hear it, and they actually upregulated the disease. Doesn't happen very often, but you can look at the people that you know that are just really, really healthy, and you think, wow, they never, ever, ever get sick, and then all of a sudden one day they do. Well, maybe they missed some limiting beliefs and they've been upregulated. Here's the other interesting thing about genes. For cancer, different kinds of cancer, or for heart disease, different kinds of heart disease, right? Cardiovascular stuff. Some diseases, terminal diseases, you just have to upregulate 2 or 3 or 6 genes. Some you have to upregulate maybe 10, 12, 16, 18 genes. Some you might have to upregulate for certain kinds of cancer, maybe 22, 23, 28 genes in order for you to actually get it. So pay attention to, it's not the kind of thing that if you slip and you're not doing as well as you think you should be, and you realize that you might have started upregulating some of those genes, don't be discouraged. Just realize there's a number of them you have to have before you actually get the disease. So just get back at it, get back in the program, and start working. Last comment. Last comment. I gotta have a sip of coffee. Decaf coffee. So last comment. If you're alcoholic, there's all kinds of programs for people that have addictions to alcohol, or drugs. And they go to those programs, and I've been around and involved in those programs myself for 30 years plus, right? Maybe longer. And when we're talking about ill health and sickness and disease and terminal disease, we're talking about you're needing a program. it's not a program that you go to for 30 or 45 or 60 days, which is pretty much true with alcohol, for instance. But it's a program that you acquire and learn from coaches, people that do consulting, people that do workshops, people that do seminars, and Dr. Joe Dispenza. Please remember that name. Go get his books and just start reading them. That's the foundation for building a program to overcome terminal illness, to learn how to down-regulate, get rid of, flush out all the genes in your body so that you basically live until you decide to die. I mean, it isn't like it makes you live forever and ever. It just allows you to design your future, and at some point in the future, when you decide it's time that you're going to die, you make that decision. The disease does not get you and make that decision for you. And the program that you learn is how to eliminate the genes out of your body regarding the terminal illness that you might have. It works. It works. You can go on his site, and there's sites everywhere, but you can go on his site and you can listen to thousands, and I'm not exaggerating, thousands of people that have testimonials about every conceivable terminal illness you can imagine, and they no longer have it. And they talk about, they usually let them talk for, I don't know, maybe up to 20 minutes or something like that in front of, the seminar. They usually, how many people does he have? I was thinking he has 1,500 people at an event. But at any rate, they talk and they describe how they worked the program and how and when they got rid of their disease. There's also, people, this aspect of it, that are in, hospice. And when you go to hospice, I don't know what it is. I guess you have a few weeks left and you're going to die. But they change their belief system and they learn how to down-regulate the disease. And the genes drop out of their body and they won't die. And they get kicked out of hospice. So if you're a non-believer, become a believer. If you're a non-believer, become a believer. This is a great life we have. I mean, every day is just full of gratitude and thankfulness. It's not perfect, you guys. It's not perfect. But it's a great life that we all have, and we don't have to be sick. I just spent a week with you going through the benefits of meditation, and I just talked specifically about mindfulness meditation. Here's one more aspect of mindfulness meditation. I gave you a little tidbit yesterday. Another one might be to where once you get yourself to the point of having no thoughts within a 10-second period of time and being able to lengthen that out longer and longer and longer without having any thoughts enter your brain, mindfulness, you become no one from nowhere and in no time. Think about what I just said. Get in a quiet place a couple times a day, morning and evening, and eliminate all thinking regarding yourself, where you're at, and of course, time doesn't exist anyway. You all know that. And try that aspect. Take it another step further. I mean, there's a progression that you get through. I made a joke yesterday where, the people that have been the yogis and, the masters over in Tibet and the Himalayas, they can stay overnight out in a snowbank, and they're able to regulate their body temperature up and down and survive in just normal clothes without a coat. And they're able to do stuff like that. They're able to levitate themselves. They're able to astral project, move out of their body, right? They're able to upregulate and downregulate their genes freely. They don't have disease. They die when they're ready to die. Dying, sidebar, me and sidebars. Dying is a cultural thing. I'll leave it at this. The world we live in has conditioned you, listening to me, to accept that dying happens, I don't know, 70s, 80s or something like that. And everybody believes, big mistake, they believe that they're supposed to die sometime in their 70s or 80s, and you'll start seeing a deterioration of the body, of the mind. And it'll work itself up to acquiring a disease so that they fit into that window of when they're supposed to die. It doesn't have to happen. Go read the Bible. If you believe the Bible, good Lord, please believe the Bible. But, there were people that lived over 1,000 years. It was very common for people to live several hundred years. So, anyway, I hope everybody got something out of this little series that I went through. I've got some more stuff I might want to talk about in a related series, and that has to do with your energy centers. And you'll find that very interesting and exciting as well. So anyway, God bless everybody. Take care of each other, and look forward to talking to you all again real soon. Thanks a lot. See you. Bye.